Good evening, students. Today is Wednesday, August 19th, 2020. And tonight we're going to do several different activities. We will read a story called A Truck Hits Jill's Car. The story is called A Truck Hits Jill's Car. And we will answer questions about the story and look for evidence about our answers. We will look for evidence about our answers. We will also talk about present tense verbs, has or had, has or had. And we will talk about strategies for learning new words. We have 8 new words to learn tonight, and we will talk about strategies for learning those new words. So let's go ahead and get started on our lesson tonight. Okay. English lesson for August 19th, 2020, Level 2 class. We will read A Truck Hits Jill's Car. We will learn and read 8 new vocabulary words. We will use them in sentences and fill in blanks. We will talk about your evidence for knowing the answers. Talk about your evidence for knowing the answers. We will talk about present tense verbs like has or had, and strategies for learning new words. Strategies for learning new words. So we're going to do all of those activities tonight. We didn't get through everything in our lesson, but I'll take us through what we did get done tonight. I'll take us through those. Okay. A truck hits Jill's car, and this word is locked. We read the story, and then we looked for evidence for our answers. Ed, look, yells Bob Oliver. A truck hit that car. That is our car, yells Ed Hill. And my sister has our car. She was going shopping. The car is burning, yells Ed, and Jill is in the car. Ed and Bob run quickly to the car. Bob, the car is locked, yells Ed. I cannot get in. Hurry, get a brick or a rock. We can hit the glass with it. Jill is hurt and she cannot help us. Bob brings a brick and hits the glass. Ed gets his sister out of the car. He puts her on the grass. The car burns. The truck does not burn. And there's a picture of this car crash. Jill's car is here, and this is the truck that hit her. The man in the truck is not hurt. He runs to Jill. Help her, says Ed. She is hurt. Get a cop. The cop will get her to a hospital. Remember, we talked about cop is another name for policeman or policewoman, police person, cop. The cop will get her to a hospital. The man brings 2 cops. The cops bring Jill to a hospital. The man in the truck brings Ed and Bob to the hospital. The doctor and the nurse work quickly. Jill's arm is hurt. Her leg is cut. Her back is burned. A nurse gives Jill a shot. The doctor puts stitches in Jill's leg. He covers the burns on her back. Then he puts her arm in a cast. Ed and Bob are in the hospital office. The man from the truck is with them. The two cops come into the office. They ask the man from the truck what happened. The man tells them what happened. He says, "She passed my truck. Then she went in front of me very quickly. I hit the back of her car." Dr. Fisher comes into the office. "Ed, you can visit your sister," he says. "She got a shot. I covered her burns. She has a cast on her arm, and she has 20 stitches in her leg. She is not very well, but she will get well." Ed and Bob hurry to visit Jill. Ed kisses his sister. Bob kisses Jill. The boys are happy that they got Jill out of the car. That's quite an exciting story. And tonight, we talked about questions that we had about the story and the answers. Who, what, when, where, how, and why questions. Those were the questions we had. Let me fix this. Whoops. Those were the questions we had. And we said, what is your evidence? Evidencia. What is your evidence for knowing the answers? We practiced, actually asked 10 questions, but here are some. Who is the story about? We know the story is about Jill, Ed, and Bob. What is our evidence? What is our evidence? If we look back in the story, we can see Ed, Bob, and Sister Jill. So we see their names, Bob Oliver, Ed Hill, and Jill. That's our evidence that that is who the story is about. We also know there was a nurse in the story, a doctor in the story, and a policeman called a cop in the story. What is the story about? What is the story about? Well, we know the story is about a truck hits Jill's car. And our evidence is by looking in our title, because we know when we look in a title of a story, it shows us what the story is about. A truck hits Jill's car is what the story is about. And we'll do one more question together, even though we did more in class. How many stitches did Jill get? How many stitches did Jill get? Well, to find our evidence of our answer, we go back and look in the story, and she has 20 stitches in her leg. So the answer is 20 stitches, and our evidence is right here in this sentence. And she has 20 stitches in her leg. So when we ask questions and answer questions about a story, we ask about the evidence. The evidence. 4 of the new words that we've been working on tonight are concentrate. This is the Spanish translation. Concentrate, discouraged, index cards, list. We had some more, but these are the main ones. Concentrate, discouraged, index cards, list, oops, sorry, let me fix that, and underline, underline. So this is a conversation. We're going to complete the conversation. Complete the conversation. Here's those words again. Concentrate, discouraged, index cards, list, paper, and underline. Concentrate, discouraged, index cards, list, paper, and underline. So let's review that conversation. Victor says, "Hi, Frank, how's it going?" Frank says, "Not so good. Can you help me? I have so much homework. I have to write a paper for Monday, and I have a test tomorrow." So the blank was filled in by the word paper. So Frank is not so good. He has to write a paper for Monday, and he has a test tomorrow. So Victor says, "You need to make a blank of all your homework. Then write the due date of each item on your calendar." You need to make a what? What's the answer there? That's right. We chose list, L-I-S-T. You need to make a list of all your homework, then write the due date of each item on your calendar. Frank says, "Okay, but what about the test?" Victor says, "You should study your textbook and blank all the main ideas." And we talked about tonight, we would underline. We would take our pencil or pen and underline the main ideas in our textbook. Write the important words on blank and study them in your free time. So number 4, we would write the important words on index cards and study them in your free time. Do you live near a quiet place where you can blank? Remember, that word is concentrate. Do you live near a quiet place where you can concentrate? Frank says, "Well, there's a library a few blocks away." So that's pretty good. Victor says, "Good. You should study and write your paper there. Don't feel blank." And that word is discouraged. Don't feel discouraged. So we used the word concentrate, discouraged, index cards, list, paper, and underline to fill in these blanks. And then we also read 4 questions. Number 1, Frank needs some, well, we know he needs some advice. He doesn't need homework, and he doesn't really need friends. He needs some advice. Number 2, Frank has to what? Study less, help Victor, or plan his work? That's right. The answer was Frank has to plan his work. He has to make a list of all the things he needs to do. He needs to make a list or plan his work. Victor is what? Boring, helpful, or discouraged? Remember, Victor is his friend. Victor is what? And you wrote the word helpful because Victor is helping Frank. Victor is helping Frank. And number 4, Victor tells Frank how to what? Study smarter, study harder, or get to the library. He tells Frank how to study smarter. He tells him to concentrate. He tells him to make a list. He tells him to use index cards and to underline things so that he can practice. So Victor's a good friend. He tells Frank how to study harder. And then we did matching and more sentence completion. Let's go ahead and do matching. Tammy can't finish her book. Which of these goes with that sentence? A, B, C, D, E, F. You took some time to read them, and we decided D. Tammy can't finish her book because she needs to concentrate. Number 2, Bernie underlines the main ideas. Which of these, A, B, C, D, E, or F, goes with that? We decided A because he is an active reader. He is an active reader. Number 3, Sue can't remember new words. We decided that that goes with D. She needs to concentrate. She needs to concentrate. Number 4, Pam has too much homework. Pam has too much homework. We decided E, she needs to make a list of things to do. She needs to make a list of things to do. Number 5, Paola is not happy. Paola is not happy. She's not happy. Well, if she's not happy, we don't know. Maybe she's discouraged, or maybe she needs to concentrate, or maybe she needs to make a list of things to do. But we had a hard one with that because Paola is a girl, and we decided that she is discouraged, not he. The book isn't interesting goes with it's boring. It's boring. The book isn't interesting goes with it's boring. And then we used our words to fill in these blanks for these sentences. Active, boring, concentrate, discouraged, index cards, paper, to-do list, and underline. We ended by talking about present perfect verbs. And we had to decide about for or since, have and had. For and since, have and had. So we talked about those, and we'll keep working on those. And we did have a lot of time for our strategies for new words. So on Monday, we're going to start more and talk about strategies for learning new words. So that's what we were working on tonight. It was good words, interesting words, and a little bit difficult, but not too bad. So you did a great job, and I will see you all next Monday. Have a good weekend. Have a good week. Have a good weekend. Okay, bye-bye.